Hey guys, it's Adam from LUCIDPIXUL, and I want to take a moment to share my thoughts and feelings on Apple's announcement about an hour and a half ago of the 6th gen iPad Pro. And I want to share my thoughts and feelings from the perspective of a professional artist, a digital painter specifically. I have to say that I am very excited and pleased what Apple has done for artists in the last few years. One product that was taken very much for granted was the studio displays. Everybody looked at the studio displays as just, another monitor, but it's not. For a digital painter, I actually rely more on those displays than I do on my Cintiq. And I generally do most of my most important color and value and detailing work on a Wacom Cintiq Pro on my studio displays because I know that I can rely on the colors and contrast a lot better for digital painting. And again, this is something that a lot of people didn't realize, the perfect calibrated colors. So I'm very excited what they did there. And it's been a product that I do not by any stretch regret purchasing. In fact, I ended up getting two. As you can see, I've got two behind me right here. However, I can see that Apple are really starting to embrace, finally, and listen to artists in particular. Because with the new iPad Pro, most of it's the same. It's more powerful. It's still the same 12.9 inches. It's got a nice new display, blah, blah, blah. But most of that's a lot of the same stuff. As far as the operating system's concerned with the new Stage Manager and stuff like that, that's great. That's cool, whatever. But the subtlest, simplest little feature was just introduced to the new iPad Pro, and it was implemented into the screen itself, rather than the accessory being the pen. And that is something that has been at the crux of why I almost never, ever use my iPad for doing professional artwork. Maybe I'll sketch on it at most, but it's the reason why I would rather work on a much cheaper Wacom Cintiq Pro and or my Cintiq, but never drew on my iPad Pro. It's because you could not preview your brush size. And it might seem like the silliest, most trivial thing, but when you're working, you're staring at your brush cursor all the time, and changing the size and shape of your brush is something you do constantly. I've constantly got my fingers sitting on top of those bracket keys to increase and decrease brush size. And one of the biggest things that really ruin the flow for an artist is that you have to keep flicking your eye back over to the preview and then come back to your image, and you're trying your best to kind of gauge the size of it. And it became such an annoying feature that different artists tried to solve. I'd say probably one of the best solutions, creative solutions to that weakness of the iPad Pro was Borodante's Craft Pro, the app he did where he had a thumb bar on the left and you could preview in your peripheral vision the size and scale it just by sliding your hand up and down or side to side. I thought that's probably one of the most ingenious ways of solving it. But nothing can replace having that cursor sitting right where your pen is so that when you're scaling it, it's right there so you don't have to move your eyes off of your artwork. Monumentally important, although incredibly subtle and trivial. Well, very thankfully, very excitedly, Apple just apparently solved that with pen hover. I think they call it hover display. We're now implemented into it. It'll actually be able to sense your pen up to 12 millimeters away, and it can also sense the size of it. And they were even previewing how you can use the pinch feature to increase or decrease the size of your pen so that you can always keep your eyes on your art. And in my opinion, if they execute this right, which Apple generally tend to execute these things well, then I think this is going to be a very important and a very game-changing feature for people who want to produce artwork on an iPad. I know for one, it's the reason why this pen never gets used. So I already placed my order. I'm expecting it, I think, this Friday or whatever. So I'm definitely going to be previewing it. And I'm definitely going to be sharing my first impressions of it from the perspective of somebody who takes art very seriously. And if it's at all a clunky or gimmicky feature, or if it doesn't work the way I like it, you'll know that for sure. But if Apple nails it, then this might be the reason why I recommend iPads moving forward as being a viable professional drawing tool. So we'll have to see. All right, keep watching.